Hello, welcome back for another low consumption check-in. I am on a low consumption challenge, low buy. I started in November. We're going to be checking in for the month of December, which I feel like if you can get through December on a low spend, low buy, low consumption, whatever you want to call it, that is the real challenge. So December was tempting for me, but let's talk about it. I have a couple of sections that we're going to cover today. I'll leave some chapters if you want to jump around. So the chapters will be talking about if I made any purchases that were outside of my rules, talk about purchases that were inside my rules. We'll talk about any exception spending, because that is also a category that could happen. We'll talk about any sales, because I do have like a sub goal to earn $500 from selling stuff. So we'll talk about that. And then, we'll just sprinkle in a little commentary about temptations and marketing and all of that good stuff too. So let's go ahead and begin. So for my rules, if you're unfamiliar, I will do an abbreviated version here, but you can go check out my intro video too. So essentially for any consumable products like skincare, hair care, beauty stuff, candles, cleaning supplies, even like in my kitchen pantry, anything that is meant to be used up, I want to use what I already have in the house first before I purchase anything new. As far as clothes goes, basically no new clothes unless, I truly have a need for something, whether that be a different size or like wear and tear is taking place, that kind of thing. No accessories, nothing else kind of, for fun. And then also for home, only like maintenance related items, kind of necessities, no like fun decor, little cutesy little things either. So that's generally the rules. Let's go ahead and talk about if I made any purchases that were outside of my rules. I'm very happy to report for December, I did not buy anything outside of my rules. So pat on the back for that. It was tempting though. I caught myself so many times scrolling and looking at stuff, and I had already done pretty much all my Christmas shopping, so there was no reason for me to be looking online at anything, really. And then the end of year comes and you get hit with all these emails, so I have been going through and unsubscribing to a lot of email, like distribution lists and stuff, but holy moly, they are good at getting you. So I did catch myself a few times, but I think that the month of December, overall, it was just easier for me to be off my phone. I leaned into coloring. My husband and I made a lot of fires in our fireplace. Like we just tried to stay off the internet. Let's call it that. Okay, so I did have some spending that happened in the month of December, though, that was within the rules. So I have a couple of categories here. One is clothes. I bought one new pair of jeans. So I've been going to the gym regularly. I have switched sizes and I had 3 pairs of jeans that did not fit anymore. They were way too baggy, even with a belt. It just wasn't happening. So those are gone. That left me with 1 pair of jeans that fit. So I did buy a second pair of jeans. That was $23 from Target. So now I have that, I'm good to go. For home, I had 7 purchases. So the first one is, okay, this is a little bit of a backstory, but in the month of December, our furnace went out. So we were with this like intermittent heat. It would be on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off constantly. So there was still some heat coming out, just not a lot or like a constant stream of heat, if that makes sense, for about 2 weeks. So during that time, we used space heaters and we used our wood burning fireplace, as I mentioned, to keep our house warm. It worked really well, but because we were going to be using space heaters and our wood burning fireplace as our like heat source, I thought, you know what, it's probably wise for us to have some fire extinguishers around. So I bought a 3-pack of fire extinguishers. It was basically either 1 or a 3-pack. I really wanted 2, but anyway, it was cheaper to buy the 3-pack. So that was good. We did not need to use them, but it just seemed like if we were going to need one, this would be the situation when we need it. So I bought fire extinguishers. They'll be good for a number of years. So just a good thing to have, but that was one purchase. I also bought some weather stripping, again, because our furnace was not really working all that efficiently. I wanted to minimize any drafts. So I did get weather stripping for our front door. The previous stuff had just kind of worn out. So that made a big difference. That was $17. And then I also bought a humidifier. We have one in our living room, which is near the fireplace, because when you're burning wood like that to heat your home, it's so dry and staticky. We're shocking each other. We're shocking the cat. Like our eyes and nose, we can just feel it. So we got really into our humidifier routine now. So we have one already downstairs. I had one in our bedroom, but it was just like a small one. So I've actually moved that here in my office so I can have a humidifier while I work. And I bought a different one for the bedroom because at night we like to have it run. My husband and I both are prone to, like I said, just getting those dry eyes, bloody noses, that type of thing. So we do need one going overnight as well. So that was a purchase. That was $40. I went with a more high quality one and one that's easier to fill and clean. And I'm really happy with that. Okay, and then we also needed some bleach for our laundry. And then the big purchase was we bought a new furnace. How exciting. Everybody wants a new furnace on Christmas Eve. So yeah, they came, the repair people came, they looked at it. They were here for like a couple of hours. They could not figure out what was going on with it. And then they finally like scoped it and put this camera up through there and everything. And it was just like completely cracked and like it was not repairable. So we had to buy a new furnace. That was our big ticket item, our surprise Christmas present to each other this year. So yeah, I am including that. That obviously counts. It's for home maintenance. So yeah, 7 purchases for home. Ultimately $5,855 spent on home, including the furnace. Obviously that's the big one. Okay, for beauty, I had 4 items. So for makeup, I had mascara. So I bought a normal mascara and a waterproof mascara. I had been trying this tubing mascara and I didn't like it. So I got a waterproof to replace it. I need something that, like when I'm traveling for a work trip that I have coming up or just like longer days, normal mascara kind of flakes on me at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what formula, to be honest. So I bought a normal mascara because I switched those quarterly. And then I bought a waterproof mascara to replace the tubing one because that one really wasn't working for me. So I'm good there. That was $10. I just got the Essence Lash Princess ones. So great. And then I had 2 prescription items. So I use prescription strength skincare. I use a tretinoin and also a hydroquinone, I think is how you say it, for a spot treatment, for a sunspot that I have on my cheek. And then I also have a scalp serum that I use because I have thinning hair. So I had 2 of those prescriptions come up from Muesli that I paid for and refilled. So those were the 4 beauty products, 2 mascaras, and then 2 prescription skincare items. So that was 4 items in the beauty category for $211. For vehicles, we just had 1 purchase. This was a replacement item. So we live in Minnesota. It's cold and your tires lose air, so you have to refill them in the winter. And so our tire pressure gauge was broken, so we had to buy a new one, and that was $8. And then the last category is hobbies. So I am allowed to spend a little bit of money on hobbies, but not excessive. So this purchase I got right after Black Friday. So like on Cyber Monday, whatever. So I got a good deal on it. It was for some headphones. They're over the ear headphones instead of like earbuds. I had earbuds, Bluetooth ones that I've been using for years. And then I brought them with us on our trip that we took over Thanksgiving. And I opened up the case because it had been a little bit and I realized that they were like moldy, I think it was. It was disgusting. And after I saw that, I couldn't unsee it. So I decided to buy myself new headphones. They're over the ears. I love them. I'm so glad I went with the over the ear ones. They're so much more comfortable. So anyway, I've been using those to edit YouTube videos. I've been using them at the gym. So that was a great purchase and they were $37 and I'm happy with the quality. So yeah, that was only a purchase for a hobby. So ultimately for my in-rule spending, because all of these different purchases met my rules, it was 14 items for $6,134, again, being most of that money went to the furnace. Let's talk about exception spending. So I did have a couple of exceptions in my rules. One of them was for my birthday. So my birthday is December 30th. It's at the very end of the month. And all year I save money for my birthday. So I have a savings challenge. I put my extra cash in a piggy bank and then I unstuff it. And that is my birthday money. I can link that video if you're interested, but I am about to spoil the amount. So I had $278 to work with. And my exception was that I could use it on any category. It did not need to fit in my rules. So if I wanted to buy jewelry, I could, or if I wanted to buy clothes, I could, but I could not go over that budget. So I spent $277 of the $278. So that's great. And I bought 4 items. So first one is actually this sweatshirt. This is like a Sherpa quarter zip. I got this on Amazon. I've been living in it. I absolutely love it. So this was a good purchase. And then the big ticket item was my Shark Flex Styler, which is kind of like the Dyson Airwrap hair tool thing. So I actually found mine on Mercari. So it had been used, but like very gently. And it came with pretty much all of the attachments that I wanted anyway. So that was great where I could get what I wanted. I got it like secondhand and for cheaper, because if you were to buy one like brand new, I think the smallest package that I would have wanted was like $250. So it was really great to get it for $180, and it worked out. So that is also what I got. And then I got 2 rings off of Etsy, just like fashion jewelry type things. So one is a gold ring with kind of like an opal in the center, like a white opal. And then one is a silver ring with a couple of opals, but they're different colors, like a kind of a purple, a pink, and then white. So I've been really enjoying those. And those were the 4 items I got for my birthday. So that was like an exception, and we're done with that now, right? Like I don't get that exception again throughout this process. So let's talk about what I've been selling. Part of this low consumption, why I call it low consumption, is I'm not necessarily as focused on the finances where like I want to save money. I mean, I do, but I'm more concerned about the number of things I have in my home. Like when I look at my bookcase, I don't want to feel overwhelmed by it. I don't want to feel overwhelmed in my house anymore. And a lot of that is from clutter and just things that are lying about. So the low consumption focus is that I really want to work through what I have or get things out of my house and not bring a ton in. So for December, I was able to sell 26 items, which is so exciting. And I made $278.07. So I primarily sell through Facebook Marketplace and then also Mercari. And I offer for Facebook Marketplace, I offer shipping, though most of it's local, but I still have a few shipping orders. And then Mercari obviously is shipping. So that's been great. When I look at the list of items that I sold, I would just say every little bit adds up, because I had a bunch of board games that we weren't going to use or anything like that. So I listed those and they flew. So I wasn't really asking for a ton, but I'm really happy that I was able to move them out. Somebody got a great deal for maybe a Christmas present or a game to play while their family was off of, school and work and whatever. So it was a win-win. I also sold some of my husband's sweaters. So my husband lost a good amount of weight, and he had a bunch of really nice cashmere sweaters, but they are just way too big for him now. So we sold those. There were 9 cashmere sweaters. I sold all of them, one individually, and then a pack of 8, like a bundle. We did that as well. So that was really great. So for that, we got 130 for those 9 sweaters altogether when you add it together. So that was great. And then I also had a couple of like home things, or like decor and organization things that I sold too. So very, very happy with that. And so I'm going to color in our tracker. I have my notebook here and I'm going to color in. My goal is $500. In the month of November, I sold $150.41. And then in December is $278.07. So I am going to hit 500 way earlier than I thought. 500 I thought was such a stretch. And I'm already now in January, I've already made a few sales and it's the first week of January. So I know I can hit that 500, which means that if I can do it, you can do it. So as I color this in here, I just want to have like a little stream of consciousness while I do this. Like I was saying at the beginning, I feel like if you can survive December with the huge push of buying gifts, treating yourself, end of year, new me, new year, new me, all of that messaging. I feel like if you can kind of get through that season, you can get through the rest of the year. It's kind of funny when you actively choose, I'm not going to shop, like how much of the season is around gift giving and shopping for others and shopping for yourself. And don't forget to buy this and that. And it's just funny when you are actively not doing it to see how prevalent it is around you. We had a great kind of end of year holiday season. My husband and I took some time off of work. We saw friends, we saw family. what we did, we didn't really do a big Christmas exchange because earlier in the year, my husband and I went to Japan and we did some shopping there. So we just went to dinners. We celebrated, just having time together, and that was really nice. So we didn't really like do a gift exchange or anything, but we did take, like my dad out to dinner at a nice restaurant, and that's kind of the gift that we would rather give, is that time together and the experience of having like really high quality food in cuisine that you normally wouldn't cook yourself and things like that. So I think for sure that will shape how we gift give in the future as well. And then for my birthday, one of my friends, she goes, I know you don't want stuff, so she got me like a $50 gift card towards a spa near me. And like, that is such a nice gift to get, and I definitely want to give that type of gift for others in the future. So I think that this experience has been very positive for me. I survived Christmas, New Year's, all of that, thankfully. So here is the chart updated. I just colored in with that light green. So yeah, we only have a little bit left here. We'll definitely hit this sometime this year. I don't know if it'll be in January, but for sure before the challenge is over. So that is my update. Like I said, I am very motivated by kind of sticking with the basis that I want fewer things in my home. I don't want to have to dust around things. I don't want to have to move things to wipe down the counters. I don't want just things staring at me. So pretty much every day I look around my house and I say, what else can I sell? And it has been kind of a fun little side quest. It's been something that has kept me busy as well. So I'm not actually buying things or searching the web because I'm too busy listing things. And I just figure for things that don't sell, ultimately I can donate them, no problem, but I might as well try to make a few dollars here and there. And like I said, every little cent adds up really. So hope this was encouraging for you. I know a lot of people are starting their low buy years and their journeys. So let me know if that is you. Would love to hear about your rules and, share experiences with you. I will link in the description box a couple of people that I have been watching, their introductions to a low buy year, and I just love hearing people's whys and just finding others that are kind of going through a similar thing, so you have a community. So I'll link some people, like I said, that I've been watching. If you are looking for others, maybe you want to check them out, but that is all I have for you today. So thank you so much for watching. I will be kicking off some project pans on my channel here shortly. So if you haven't seen already, I'm panning a eyeshadow palette. I can link that series for you. And I will have my regular makeup project pan starting as well here in the next week or so. So that is obviously a big part of how you can use up beauty products, is by project panning them, which means that you use up the entire product before you move on to the next one or before you buy something else. So I'll be starting those formally on my channel here shortly if that's your kind of vibe. So thanks so much for watching, you guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon in my next one. Bye.